Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another episode here at Cody Shattuck Small Town Startup. I'm so glad to see you. How's everybody doing today? Today I'm talking about upset customers and why they react the way that they do when they do get upset over something, and how understanding why they react the way that they do can help you advance yourself as a customer service agent, as someone who's at a job. Maybe you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you're always dealing with people and you're always trying to accommodate them. But sometimes doing everything in your power that you think you can do doesn't work, and things will upset people. Okay, you can't always prepare 100% for everybody who comes in the door and expecting to know everything that they're thinking and all this. So when it comes down to upset customers, I'm going to use working at a hotel, for example, because I have plenty of experience in this, and there's a lot of upset customers that pop up when you least expect it. And so let's use this as an example. A customer comes into the hotel and I'm working at the front desk. We check them in, everything is fine. We greet them, see how their day is going. You relate to them, we're good. They get into their room, and maybe it's not the right room, okay? They wanted a room with a king bed, it's a room with two queens. Maybe the bed sheets weren't changed. Maybe there's a stain on the bed sheet. For all you hospitality folks out there, I know you've heard this one before. And so what happens is the first thing that they do is they go into this fight or flight mode. Oh my God, how could they have? What's going on here? And they want to address this problem right now. So they come back up to the front desk and they let you hear what they have to say, okay? And so the first thing, though, that they're reacting to is they're reacting to the problem, right? But more so, they're almost they're almost affected by the fact that they feel unsatisfied, that maybe they felt unheard, and that maybe they're just they feel unimportant. This is humans are emotional. And when humans get emotional, it's because of something emotional that's happening in here. And so that is the deeper issue here. And so when they come up and they say, the bed sheets in the room weren't changed and there's a stain and or the room isn't the correct room, how come, what's going on here? This experience has already started off bad. And so you're thinking, oh my God, the first thing you want to do is just apologize up and down, this, that, and the other. Just listen, okay? Just listen, stay calm, and let them vent, okay? Let them vent. People complain and upset because they feel, like I said, they feel unsatisfied. And in this case, they feel unsatisfied. And maybe they feel unheard because maybe their room wasn't the type of room that they booked. And so there could have been an accident. There could have been a discrepancy if they booked through a third party and it came into your system. And or maybe the person booking the reservation that day made a mistake. The point here is not to focus on the fact that it was an accident. Okay, if you say to the customer, sorry sir, this was an accident, they don't care. Okay, they don't care. What they're looking for here is for you to hear them. They want you to hear them most all over everything, okay? But then they want to see how you're going to, right, give them a solution. And so this leads me into the second point. Sometimes people will complain out of an emotional reaction, okay, to something that they see or something that's happened to them. And they just want to make it known. And sometimes they don't even want a solution. They don't desire a solution. And so this is a case where, for instance, say the customer's in a hotel, different customer, by the way. Say that they're in the lobby and they get a cup of coffee, and the coffee's kind of lukewarm, it's cooling off. But they get themselves a cup of coffee anyway because they want a cup of coffee and they don't want to wait for a new pot of coffee. Okay, but they get it and then they come up to the desk and they say, sir or ma'am, your coffee's getting pretty cold. You should probably change it. That's what they're saying to you. And so here's a scenario where they want you to be heard. Okay, they do want you to make a hot cup of coffee or pay attention to the coffee, but they don't necessarily want you to get them a new cup, because if you were to say to them sometimes, Hey, do you want me to go get you a new cup of coffee? No, I'm okay with this one. I just want you to, I'm just letting you know. Okay, that's a situation where they're just letting you know. And so number 3, here's the difference, guys. The difference between great customer service and good customer service is personalization, not policy. This is a big one in a hotel, okay? You get an upset customer that wants to, how about this? Maybe they arrive early and they're an hour early and they want to check in. They got all their stuff. They're in the lobby. But you tell them, sir, you can't check in until 3. We haven't got all the rooms tidied up yet. This is our policy. Right away, you've taken yourself out of the whole mind frame of, I want to accommodate you. I'll do anything, that's possible to accommodate you. I want to serve you. Okay, you're here. You're my customer. I want to serve you to the best of my ability. By saying, it's our policy, sir, we can't let you check in until 3, you're sort of dismissing their personal request. And to them, they feel unheard once again. And this is going to start to spin the wheels in their head and go off into other areas, because now you've set the experience off on a bad spin. Okay, so now when they get into their room, if maybe their pillows aren't tucked in a certain way, or there's a hair in their tub, they're going to let you know, okay, because they're feeling unheard. And so what you can do if there's a policy in place is say, okay, yeah, you are here a little bit early. Let me see if any of these rooms on the housekeeping list are ready to go. And let me see if I can get you in here. Don't go back to the manager and say, this person wants to check in early. I know we don't usually do it. Do I just tell them it's policy? They don't want you to go back and forth. They don't want you to do all that. No wonder why people hate going to car dealerships and buying a car, because the person you're dealing with is going back to the person that actually has, the power, the say of whether you can make a deal or not. And you're just like, well, why can't I just talk to that guy, right? Yeah, I'm one to say that half the time, and they don't come out until the very end when you're about to leave. It's annoying, and it prolongs the process, and it makes you feel unimportant, okay? And so put yourself in these shoes with these examples I've just given you. And so once again, people complain and become upset where they're feeling unheard, they're feeling unimportant, and they're feeling unsatisfied. And this can happen from something that sets them off as soon as they walk into the door of where you work. And if you're a business owner or entrepreneur, you may know this all too well when you get a customer who calls and wants to get information, and maybe they're passed off, and maybe they get disconnected. These are all things that really, really shabby up your customer service. They really put a dent in it big time. Okay, you got to pay attention to these things, and this is how you can do it. Number 2, people will sometimes complain about something that happened to them just to get it out, just to vent, okay? Just to make it known. And sometimes they don't want a solution. They just want you to maybe take this information, learn from this information for maybe the next time that they come in, and then adjust this for later, making sure in some form, shape, or another that you've taken action to make this thing right, and then also make it right for the future. And number 3, the difference between great customer service and good customer service is personalization, not policy. Try everything. The first trigger should be to try to get creative and figure out a way for you to entertain or to accommodate their personal request to you. And don't pass it off to its policy, because this becomes more of a general accommodation that might not be accommodating to them and to their requests at that point. So personalize that. Serve them. Be a person of service, okay? Customer service, not customers service. Each customer is individual, so keep that in mind. And the last thing that you can do to say, okay, here's a little example for what you can say to somebody who's upset, who's coming to you. The first thing you do always is listen, okay? Let them talk it out. Let them get their emotions out, because it's already happening. Fight or flight's happening whether you want it to or not, okay? And what you can do then, once they take a break for a second, is say, look, I understand. Always acknowledge what they've said, okay? Don't just go into, I'm sorry. Acknowledge what they say, okay? I understand. This is empathizing with them, okay? People want you to empathize with them. This is why it's important to have, a few key traits when you're to being a great customer service person. Okay, if you're innately a patient person, if you're innately an empathetic person, if you're innately a person who, really, really cares and shows that urgency into solving someone's problem, you're going to be a really great customer service person. So it's important to understand that, acknowledge that, empathize with that person, and say this, I understand, sir or madam, you are a very important customer, Bob or Lisa, and I'm so sorry that, I've let this happen. Okay, take personal responsibility. It's not about you, it's about them, but you're taking responsibility anyway. Doesn't matter if it was an accident, you take the responsibility. And here's what I can do to make it up to you. Give them a couple of options and then ask them, okay, once you've given them the options, ask them if this is what they want to do, okay, because you're trying to help them. And, just giving them one distinct option and telling them this is all we can do is still not listening to them. You're putting on them what you can do. So give them a couple of options. Ask them if either one of those is what they want to do. And then confirm with them to make this thing right. Is this fair? Does this sound fair to you guys? I'm trying everything in my power to really make up for this. You are a really important customer to us. Is this fair to you? And at the end of the day, fairness is what it comes down to, okay? When people feel like they're treated fairly, they're going to be much, much happier customers, okay? So I hope this helped you guys. These are more advanced techniques to understanding why, the psychology of upset customers. And once you practice these a little bit, you can implement these into your job, into your position as a business owner. You're always going to be dealing with people. You're always going to be dealing with customers. And I really, really hope that this helps you out, because I know it will. I've used these myself. And if you found this video helpful, guys, please subscribe to my channel, Cody Shattuck, Small Town Startup. Like this video if it helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one.